Big thanks to all the members for directly supporting my content here on the platform. And remember, if you want to support as well, the missile knows where the join button is at all times. Hello pilots. Today I'm flying the F-18A, the plane that surprised everyone, not for being bad, but for being excellent. What makes the F-18A especially good is its battle rating, 12.3. Here it's a great dogfighter, has a good amount of missiles with a wide variety of payloads, and a decent radar. Of course, I'm talking in relation to its bracket. It has 60 countermeasures, which isn't great, but isn't bad either. Up to 12.7, you're an extremely good plane, and in 13.0 or 13.3 matches, you can still get some kills, but it's not a game changer or a carry plane. It'll depend a lot on the match conditions, the team, and everything else. Speaking of teams, this was the biggest problem I found with this plane. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not trying to be a hater or talk trash for no reason. The average player usually doesn't want to play very well or learn, and in a way, I used to be like that too. I can't decide how people are going to play or how they want to play, but American teams are really something to consider, negatively of course. I really liked the F-18A. It's a cool plane and a fun bracket, but the players are responsible for 90% of the hell that is playing at this battle rating. This means that even though there are great planes in the American tech tree, what's usually bad about them is something external, like the teams or the matchmaking. It's not even the plane itself. To change that, share this video with your friend who wants to understand the game a little better and actually start playing it properly. Now let's get to what really matters, because we all already have enough problems, even in this game. Here, I want those problems to be solved. Positioning while playing at this battle rating tends to not be as complex as positioning in top tier, because here the meta is all about furballs. So if you know how to play around that, everything will be considerably better. I'll leave the positioning parts here, and if you want to skip ahead, you can jump straight to the action. If anything unusual happens during the positioning, I'll explain the reasoning behind each decision. Let's go! The reason I made a turn and used chaffs a moment ago was to dodge a possible missile from the Tomcat. I don't know if it was aimed at me, but if it was, I managed to defend myself. Dropping your speed to very low levels and keeping an angle is the best remedy against any Phoenix or Fakor. Boom! Did you see that? For some reason, this radar loves to catch everyone doing multipathing when you make the missile dive at a high angle on the enemy. Most of the time, you'll at least get a hit. Now I just need to pay attention up front so I don't take a Fox 1 straight to the face. Started off well. Usually the secret to these furballs is to never waste too much energy or spend too much time focused on one area. You always have to keep switching between different conflict zones. Of course, that doesn't mean you should give up on your kills. You just need to make the right judgment behind each decision. Even though the F-18 is an excellent dogfighter, I'm still not in a safe position to start a hard engage. So I'm going to make long and safe circles while creating opportunities for a kill. Well, even though I'm getting kills and drawing the attention of several enemies in a row, it seems like the situation is only getting worse. That's it. Instead of providing cover for a duel I'd probably win, people prefer to take the openings I created for myself, and I end up dying in situations where death is unavoidable. The only way to avoid this is to play individually and let the team lose, but I don't have fun that way. Unfortunately, a sense of teamwork just doesn't seem to develop in people. Before the match that's going to be the cherry on top, I'm going to show you this match that I'd honestly just like to erase from my memory, but it's here as a lesson on what not to do. Of course, starting with positioning. As usual, I'll mark where the action starts on the video timeline in case you want to skip ahead. Matches with clouds like this are perfect for doing top-down Fox 1s. If you do everything right, most of the time you'll get 2 kills or 1 kill and an assist. And what I mean by everything right is firing at enemies with a good aspect, not perpendicular. The target has to be flying either towards you or away from you. That's how you use the 7AM. Also, don't overuse long distances. Distance gives the enemy time to react to the attack, or simply make a turn, which is already enough to make your Sparrow completely mess up. Now once again, we changed positioning between the furballs to try and get more kills. But this time, my judgment was wrong. I thought the furball on my team's side was already under control, and that they could handle the mess on their own. I also thought I could help the allies in the furball near the enemy formation. But this is something that's unpredictable. It's not the enemies, but the allies. Look how not everything in life is a piece of cake. I spent more time than I expected to take down that Kafir because of that F4S. I could have paid attention to the enemy on my right, but I didn't even see he was there. I turned the wrong way and took a 9L under ideal conditions. If I had turned the right way, everything would have been different. Can you see that cluster of contrails? Well, from that, I can already plan a good part of my initial route. I want to avoid BVR engagements because my plane simply isn't good at that, so I plan to flank them. This guy turned the wrong way while trying to defend himself. This means he's possibly alone or unlikely to get any help. I'm going to take advantage of that mistake and try to take him out. A lot of people ask me why only 20 chaffs. Well, 20 chaffs are enough to dodge most threats, considering you only fly high in the early game and the start of the mid-game. The biggest cause of deaths in this bracket is IR missiles, keep that in mind. If you've seen my first F-18C late video, you know what I'm doing. The flight performance of the F-18C late is very similar to the F-18A. Of course, there are differences in engine power or weight, but the essence is almost the same. So we're using the same strategies we used there. My team looks like it got run over by a truck. So the only thing that can turn this match around is the element of surprise. Let's make sure we can attack initially unnoticed. I also activate my anti-blind hunt, which is basically any tactic that makes it harder for people to hunt me down more easily than they should. Well, I really wanted that Sparrow to hit. I think this is going to negatively impact the rest of the match. I figured that guy wouldn't make the right choice. This is the same situation as the last match. I have to manage my speed in the best way possible, just enough to attack and enough to defend myself. If they stay slow, they definitely won't escape since my acceleration below 1,000 kilometers per hour is really strong. This is unexpected. The Phantom managed to escape my 9L. It's not like he was under pressure to fail either. Rest in peace, warrior. You did the best you could. Salute. Well, I believe I have a small chance of making it back to the airfield. Almost impossible, because the guy's radar is already locked on me, which means he's already coming. But the chance still exists, so when the action picks up again, I'll be back with it. Guys, bad news. After all this, I think my end is near. The sad part is that I don't even have enough fuel to trade the kill. I can push the distance a little more for the first shot because I'm going really fast, and this guy is in the perfect terrain for the missile to just drop right on his face. We had everything for a smooth match, a kill on the first shot, and on top of that, we're in a really good position, right on the flanks, where the enemies and our team are clustered. I'd say this is the ideal positioning for this plane. If you pay attention, the best plays come from positions like this. Of course, this works for any plane, but with this one, you don't have many other options to do things differently. Now, no immediate shots. When the enemy's movement isn't very obvious, wait a bit to judge whether you can fire or not. Up to 3 or 2.5 kilometers, you can take the shot and it will hit if you're at a high altitude. The important thing is not to waste the missile. All the spotted enemies already seem to be busy. I'm going to look for a few more, and when I find them, I'll be back. It might not seem like it, but I've been circling for almost 2 minutes because of my RWR, trying to find a guy locking me. I don't know why, but he decided to lock me from really far away, and to make things worse, my RWR isn't showing the correct direction. Apparently there's also a lost F5 around here, but he's been pinging on my RWR for a long time too. I can't go after him because I'm already low on fuel. I'll go for the closest target, which I'm guessing is the F-18, and see what happens. There are only a few enemies left. While these really large maps are the most balanced, they can also be kind of annoying because people just don't know how to play on them. I have just enough fuel to make a gamble. I can bet that my team will handle that MiG-23, and I'll try to hunt down the enemy at the airfield. Let's go. Someone activated a blind hunt, and that's great because I don't need to waste as many resources to improve the accuracy of my attack. So I can just make a very slow approach and time it perfectly to show up on his 6 without him even noticing. For the last match, we're following all the standard procedures from the previous ones. High positioning on the side relative to the team, always with the intention of flanking and prioritizing top-down attacks when it's reasonable. I know the meta at this BR is furball, but I don't understand why people want to stay so close to enemies all the time with so few attack windows. If you pass by an enemy, take your chance to attack and get nothing, just give up on the guy. Players at this BR seem like Minecraft mobs. They see a player and aggro on them until either the player or the mob dies. Their brains work just like a missile seeker. They lock on to whatever heat source looks most interesting and keep chasing it until their useful life ends. It really feels like robots are playing. So many times you see team kills, avoidable accidents, or even situations where they end up saving the enemy, just like what happened with that F4S I team killed. The last enemies seem to be flying around somewhere. When I find them, I'll be back, gentlemen. Poor guy. He went through all the trouble of flying with severe damage back to the airfield, and I still found him at the perfect timing. Literally bad karma. The last guy was camping the last airfield, so I'll have to figure out a way to get him out of there. I'm going to keep circling at a good distance to see if he takes the bait. He might just think he can take advantage if I keep changing my positioning. The fact is, he won't leave as long as he sees someone flying around with an extreme positional advantage. So I'll disappear from his sight and keep coming back. That's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed the content. Drop a comment down below with your thoughts on what we talked about. Do you agree or disagree with what I said? Your feedback is super important to me. The video ends, but the chat keeps going. Thanks for watching and supporting my work. Karma out.